Hey Guitar Heroes, this is Mel from HowToPlayGuitars.com. Today we are in day number 8, week 2 of a 365-day program as found in this book. 52 weeks of exercises, one for every day of the year, a normal year, of how to take your skills as a guitar player from beginner, or actually intermediate really, to advanced level. There have been a couple beginner lessons, as like yesterday's for example, but this one is very similar to day 1, and I'll put a link right up here in the corner for that so you can watch that again. This has 2 concepts in it that I'm exploring today. The first concept that was explored in the first video was that of 16th notes, which is simply just 4 notes in the space of 1 beat. If you have 4 quarter notes, which we essentially talked about that in yesterday's video. I'll put a link for that right here. If you've got 4 basic quarter notes and a measure of 4/4, which is 4 beats in a measure, the quarter note gets the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 quarter notes. If I then transfer that into 8th notes, I'm then going to play 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Notice I'm still counting 4. Now when you do 16ths, I'm doing 4 sets of notes faster, in a sense, within 1 measure, or within 1 beat, 4 beats within that measure. So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. So still the 4 beats, 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Still 4 beats, but now 4 notes within each of those 4 beats. And that was the rhythm that we introduced in the first video, day 1. In today's video, instead of just doing straight 16th notes, we're doing a combination of an 8th note and 2 16ths. So this is a rhythm of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and also known as a gallop, used a lot in metal and rock tunes and things like that, like Barracuda by Heart and Metallica and Iron Maiden, stuff like that. But this is just on this open high E string right now though, and we're applying the same scale that we did for the first week video, the E harmonic minor scale, which is a scale that we're going to play up that 1 string, and it's just going to be these notes: E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D sharp, and then E. When we go from an open E note to a G, that's a minor third interval in and of itself right there. That, and just before that we have the E to the F sharp, which is a major second. E to the G is the minor third. E to A is a perfect 4th. E to B is a perfect 5th. E to C is a minor 6th. In a natural minor scale, would you go to the D note, which would be a minor 7th. However, this uses a major 7th, D sharp, and then it has a half step between that note and then the octave E. And that's the harmonic minor scale. It has an Arabic or Jewish sound to it. You find this a lot in those styles of music, Arabic and Jewish and Spanish styles of music. And some of those influences come originally from Spain and from flamenco music and that type of thing. But for right now, today, we're just exploring that scale, but using a different rhythm, like I said, that 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply that rhythm to this scale. Now, in the beginning of the first beat, we're only just going to play 1 and a on that open E string, and then on beat 2, we're going to start introducing the rest of the notes of the scale. So we've got E sharp, G, A, B, C, D sharp, E. And I want you to practice that with the metronome markings in the book that are suggested of between 40 beats a minute and 112 beats a minute, 40 being the slowest, 112 being the fastest. And obviously, based on your skill level, you can certainly start slower and you can go faster. Completely up to you. But what we're going to do is more or less be in that 110, 112 BPM or beats per minute range. In doing that. So again, that rhythm was 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 2 measures for this whole exercise to be able to go from the open E up to the 12th fret. One more time. And as far as fingering is concerned, you can certainly experiment with this. I think I talked about this in the first video. And essentially, you could use your first finger all the way up or your second finger all the way up. I mean, it's up to you. And at the end, I automatically want to go to the third and fourth fingers because I've sort of already trained my hand to do that. But you can certainly experiment with it. Again, I'll show you the fingering that I use. It's just this. So I used to use the first finger and the second finger. Then I change positions and go to the 5th fret. And usually use the 1st, the 3rd, and the 4th. And then I change position one more time to go to the 3rd and the 4th fingers at the end. Just because for me, I only have to then change 3 times or so. I only have to move my hand about 3 times in order to get all the notes. Instead of instead of doing the one finger approach, which you kind of have to move your hand a little bit more for. But I certainly encourage you to experiment with that. And there's a guitar book by Mick Goodrick where he talks about playing scales up and down the strings like that with the various configurations of fingers, using 1 finger at a time, 2 fingers at a time, 3 fingers at a time, 4 fingers exact, and, et cetera, et cetera. You can certainly experiment with that on your own and check that book out. That's a great book as well. Maybe I'll post that in my group on school as well. SKOOL/Unleash Your Inner Guitar Hero. And by the way, this book is in the group also, PDF form, Guitar Aerobics, for you to peruse and learn from as we go through these examples. And I encourage you to go back to day 1 and go through all of them as we've continued through this up to the point where we're at now, and just keep going with me. So I'm challenging you and myself both to see if we can do this every day this year. This is certainly going to be a challenge for me, and hopefully it's a challenge for you, and hopefully we'll both learn something in this. So I'm encouraging you to do that. And while you're doing that, check out my school group, SKOOL/Unleash Your Inner Guitar Hero, my group on Facebook, Unleash Your Inner Guitar Hero, and my website, howtoplayguitars.com. In the meantime, keep practicing this exercise. And you can try it on different strings too. But enjoy, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.